summer and we're about to take another trip to the beach, which is really great. Except I have an album from a beach trip in 2020, but it's still not complete. So today what we're talking about is going to be batch processing to get this done. I really like to a lot of times like go through and do things just how I want them. And so I don't necessarily, I put things in the album in chronological order, but I don't work in chronological order, which is fine, except for when you're 2 years behind on just a single vacation album. So I thought, now I'm gonna start filling in the gaps that I've left in chronological order in hopes to get this done before we go on another trip. Let's see if we could do it. But first we're gonna talk about how I go about doing the batch processing to kind of get maybe 2 or 3 spreads done all at one time, right? So I have this album, sorry, and you can see I have like some things done, but then I also have gaps, right? And I have a page done, and I had a page done. I just did this one today to fill in the gap that I had left here. So that's cool. You saw me do this on Cherry on Top a while back, but I have a gap here, right? And then I have another spread, and then I have some pictures printed, but I haven't filled them in. And then I have another spread, and then I have a gap, right? So my tips for batch processing is I just went through, first of all, put all of your photos in an album on your phone together so that you have only those to look through right now. And so I went through and I looked at them in chronological order, and I thought, okay, what do I need to fill in? So I have these photos and these photos on the beach, and then I had a gap, right? So I had, okay, so this was the next photo in my roll, was me and the boys. So I thought, well, I looked through and I found this a little later on, but it didn't really have another page to go with. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do this on the outside of the page, larger page there. And then I printed this to go in there. And that'll be a super quick one because it'll just be a full page, maybe add a little bit of embellishment, but not much. And then on this side, I had already printed these pictures. And I have another series of my little guy with 3. So I want them to have the same opening. So I knew that off the top of my head. So I'm just gonna go from there. So I'm gonna have another page protector with 4. I'm gonna put those pictures, but obviously it'll have a back. So I have the pictures of the cousins, and then I had an extra one like far away with the sunset behind them. So I'm gonna do that on this big page, right? And then that's all I have printed right now. So that's gonna be 1, 2, 3 open spreads that we're gonna get to work with. My second tip is to grab one collection. So for my purposes today, I have the Heidi Swapp Sun Chaser collection. So I just picked up a ton of pages from there, but there's some cut apart sheets in here that'll be really perfect for the pockets. I also have the puppy stickers, and I also have the die cuts. I have another section somewhere. Let's see, right here. No, not right there. I have another one. Oh no, I think I probably stuffed them all in here is what it looks like. So let's get started on doing 3 spreads in my travel album to kind of try to get caught up, if that's such a thing in scrapbooking. So here is my first gap in where I have created pages. So I have a full page in the page protector and then a full page outside of the page protector. So I grabbed the citrus paper from the Suncatcher collection, and I'm just going to throw on a 3x4 photo, and then now I'm creating a journaling block with some stamping. So I ignored those circles at the top. It was some stamping that was not working out for me. So I'm just creating a little title at the top, and then I'm gonna handwrite my journaling inside that circle. I also have these Catherine Pooler stamps. There's a couple little citrus wedges, so I'm going to use the same ink that matches the colors in that paper to create a couple little wedges of citrus to add as embellishments. So they're layered stamps. Sorry, they're not in the store anymore. Those are a couple seasons ago. But I do think she might have a collection of fruit stamps that are different. So I used the die to cut around them, but I think I didn't use all of the stamp parts, so it left a really big white border. So I decided to just cut them out, like fussy cut a little bit. And now I'm using my Distress Oxides to
ink around the die cut from the Suncatcher ephemera pack because I think that helps it really stand off the page well. So really, this page came together so quickly. Literally a photo, a die cut title, and a little bit of journaling blocks with a couple of little embellishments, and that was all it needed. That's one good thing that I enjoy about creating a full album for travel, is that, you know, not every single page needs journaling. Not every single page needs to have a whole lot going on, because you're just showing the entirety of your vacation photos, right? So you can just highlight, you know, some of your favorites that don't really have a story necessarily to go along with them. So I'm just adding those two little stamped elements, and then I'm going to add, let's see, I already added a puffy sticker down there at the bottom, and that's all that it really needs. I'll punch the holes that go into the album off screen because that is outside the page protector. Now I have a lot of negative space on this full photo, so I'm going to pick a large die cut to kind of fill in that space. So I'm going to go with Enjoy Now, I think is what that says. And I'm going to put it at the top. I was trying not to put it to completely mirror the title on the other side of the page, but I liked it up there at the top. And so I'm going to add another puffy sticker on that side to kind of balance it out. And I love that. I'm really happy with how that looks. So now I have my first spread done, and it came together so quickly. And that's one good thing about this batch processing, is that you can work through quite a few items in an album fairly quickly. This is the other side of the outside of the page protector page, so I'm just sticking this to the back, and then I will use the holes that are already on the other side as guides on where I will punch holes over here. I think I have to trim a little bit off the side here as well, but that's okay. I make sure to leave plenty of border around, so I'm not cutting into any photos or anything else usually. You can check me out on the Cherry on Top blog today for all of the tips and tricks that I have compiled for this batch processing process. So now I have 2 pocket pages, and that's another tip that I offer, is that you should use pocket pages or another type of element that you can combine multiple photos to get a lot taken. So of course I was making my kids pose for some shots here in front of the sunset, and I get a few different that are all really cute, and I don't want to trash all of them. So they're all very similar. So they don't really need like a huge spread, but I love the little individual pockets to just highlight the different little looks on their faces. So I used the cut apart sheet from Suncatcher to cut out this tag, and then of course I put a hole in it and put some twine in the top, and I'm just trying to balance them out. So I like the single pockets on opposite ends that are you know, not photo pockets. So some of these background papers, I just cut them 2x3, I think is what they are, maybe 3.5. But they, some of them are from Heidi Swap's Art Walk collection, just because they were the same or similar colors. There it is. And I had the 6x8 paper pad, and I had already cut into some of those papers. And so I thought those would be really good just to add in as like background pieces behind all of these photos. And I chose pictures that or papers that had oranges or pinks because that was the color of the sunset. We went to Dauphin Island, and it is the sunset capital of the world, so they say. So I have stuck down all my photos. They all have a white border around them. And now I'm just going to embellish that additional pocket over there. A lot of the die cuts were a little bit too large to go in that teeny tiny little pocket. So I found that little heart that works well, and I'm going to go with that. I am going to ink up the edges of that heart as well to make it pop off the page. But another thing that I like to do when I'm building pocket pages is I like to stick the 2 inserts back to back. That way I know that like no bit of that paper is showing on the other side, and plus they don't move around inside the pockets and kind of just, I don't know, make it look yucky. So I'm not normally very much of a perfectionist, but that is one thing that I like to kind of do that would maybe be considered a perfectionist behavior. So see, I had a little bit of the paper sticking off on the other side, so I definitely wanted to trim that off, adding in a puffy sticker up there. So I just kind of kept the embellishments to a minimum, but I at least embellished 1 photo in each page. But yeah, and that's, you can see the other side of the pocket page. So I'm filling in gaps. So this is a pocket page that I had not completed on the other side that needed to be filled in. So I'm going to add in that die cut, and then I'm going to add in another little puffy heart to kind of embellish that and leave it be over there. But I'm loving the oranges and pinks in the Suncatcher collection. They went really well with my photos and the beachy vibe. And I also super love when I'm using this type of album. This is a Life Crafted album from Citrus Twist Kits. It's the size of a traveler's notebook, but it has rings. And I really love that this page protector is smaller than the full size. And so you can kind of see peaks of the other pages around. You'll be able to see in the final photos. So I like to keep the colors the same, kind of, or at least vibing together well. If you can see, you'll see here what I mean here in a second. So there you can see how that black does not look good. That's the back side of this spread that I had previously done, but we're going to cover that up because I still had obviously left a gap there that needs to be filled. So I'm going to make sure that the vibe and the colors kind of go with all the other pages in that opening that you can see when you open it. So I have these pictures of my kids with their cousin, and on the back side of that tag, I decided I'm not going to put any other paper in the pocket. I'm just going to use the tag as it is. It's pink, and it matches the sunset a little bit. So I'm going to use this Heidi Swapp stamp. It says Hello Sunshine, and I'm going to use my Sunset Boulevard Wow embossing powder and my Sizzix embossing pad that came in the cherry box a couple months ago. And there you can see Sunset Boulevard is what it's called. And it's this really gorgeous orange, and it has a little bit of gold glitter in it as well. So I'm just going to use that to heat emboss this cute little stamp in Heidi's fabulous handwriting. And so that'll kind of be my title for the page. And then I have the tag showing on each side of the pocket page, which I really enjoy. That's another one of my tips on the blog was to, use different things to fill your pockets. It doesn't always have to just be little like squares or rectangles of paper or photos. It can be a few different options. So now I'm going to use, I was going to stick the photo directly onto this black paper, but when I have a full-size photo, I like to add a tab, and I like to sew the tab onto my photos. So I decided to back the black cardstock with white cardstock, because if I had sewn directly onto that photo after I had stuck it down to the black cardstock, then you would see that back side of the stitching on the other side. And I didn't want to affect the other side of the page that was already complete. So I just sewed it directly onto the photo, and now I'll stick the photo onto the white cardstock. And that way, if the photo is a little bit smaller, which I do believe it is, it'll have a little bit of a white border and everything will work well. There you go. And so I like to add those tabs so when they're full-size photos, you're not getting your fingerprints on the photo as you're flipping through the album. So now, time to fill my pockets. And let's see, what do I do? Oh, I found this lovely little orangey peach paper. I think it's that Amy Tangerine paper that I had in my scrap bin. And so I used the same paper for all 3 photos, and I'm just going to use it because just a little bit of it peeks around, right? But it matched the sunset really well. So I'm going to stick down the photos, and then I'm sticking it down to the card on the other side that was Lachlan from the page that you just watched me do. And I'm going to do that for all of the little pockets. I fast forwarded through it because, filling pockets isn't always the most thrilling YouTube material. But I'm loving how this spread turns out. I really love the vibe and the colors. And I like when I flip to the next page, it is different. It has a black background, a little bit peeking around the edges, but it was because I matched it to the photos. So as long as the opening is all kind of vibing together in each single opening, then that's all I want it to do. So there's that final spread. I think we're about finished up here. So make sure to check out the A Cherry on Top blog. I'll link down below with that. I'll also link down below with my affiliate link if you would like to go grab the Suncatcher collection from the store. There's still quite a bit of it left, and it is fabulous for all of your summer projects. I would love it if you would like and subscribe to my channel. I'm so close to a milestone subscription of 1,000 subscribers, so I'm really excited to celebrate that if it happens soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions down below. I would love to help you out or answer any questions you may have. Again, with the puffy stickers, those little puffy stickers are so fabulous, especially for these smaller size albums. I really love that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Bye, y'all.